In the open ocean, a great white shark cruises through the blue, one of the most feared hunters on the planet, feared by nearly every living thing that shares the water. But look closely at its side, and you will see something strange. A small striped fish, pressed flat against the shark's body, riding along without a care in the world. The shark could swallow it in an instant. Its jaws open just inches away, lined with rows of teeth. And yet this little fish stays right there, completely unbothered. It is not clinging on in fear. It is not trapped. This tiny passenger has chosen to live on the most dangerous animal in the sea, and the shark simply lets it. So what is really going on here? Why would an apex predator carry a freeloading fish across the entire ocean and never once try to eat it? This is a shark that senses blood from far away and hunts almost anything it meets. Nothing about it suggests mercy or patience. And still, the little fish rides on, tucked against a body built entirely for killing, as calm as if it were resting on a rock. The answer is one of the most successful partnerships in the whole ocean, and it starts with the strange fish itself. When the shark surges forward with a beat of its tail, the passenger does not slip or struggle. It holds on effortlessly, moving as one with the giant. To understand how, you have to meet the Remora, a fish that has built its entire life around riding the ocean's biggest and most dangerous animals. The secret is on top of its head. What looks like a strange, ridged pad is actually a modified fin, evolved into a powerful, natural suction cup. That flat oval disc is lined with rows of tiny, movable plates. Pressed against a shark's skin, they create a grip strong enough to hold on at full speed. The harder the shark pulls forward, the tighter the Remora locks on. Sliding backward only presses the disc down and strengthens its hold. Yet the Remora is never truly stuck. Whenever it wants, it can release the disc and swim off freely, a slim and capable fish in its own right. Then, in a quick, darting motion, it returns and clamps back on, choosing exactly when to ride and when to let go. Once aboard, it does not just sit anywhere. It shuffles along the shark's flank, searching for the best possible position to settle into. Its favorite spot is often near the gills, where fresh water constantly flows, and the current does most of the swimming for it. And a single big shark rarely carries just one. Often several Remoras ride together, a small traveling community moving across the sea. By tucking into the smooth flow of water around the shark's body, they save enormous amounts of energy, letting the giant do all the hard work. Riding in that low-drag pocket behind a fin, a Remora can travel huge distances across the ocean without ever tiring itself out. When the great white suddenly senses prey and banks into a sharp turn, the little passenger holds firm through every twist and surge. As the shark accelerates toward a distant seal, the Remora simply hangs on, carried straight into the middle of the hunt. The great white strikes in an explosion of power and bubbles, seizing its prey with a force few animals could ever survive. But a messy kill leaves scraps behind, small pieces of food drifting loose in the water around the feeding shark. And this is one of the Remora's rewards. It releases its grip and darts out to grab the leftovers its host never bothers to chase. It snaps up the floating fragments, feeding for free on a meal it did nothing to catch, courtesy of the ocean's top predator. Then, well fed, it slips back onto the shark's body and settles in again, ready for the next journey and the next meal. But the Remora is not simply a hitchhiker taking without giving. It also earns its place by cleaning its enormous host. The shark's skin collects tiny parasites, biting copepods that latch on and irritate it, and the Remora picks them off one by one. So the giant gets something real in return, a cleaner, healthier body tended by the very passenger it carries across the sea. This is what makes the partnership work. The Remora gets food, transport, and safety, and the shark gets a free cleaning service that follows it everywhere. Sometimes a little fish grows even bolder, venturing right up to the shark's mouth to clean around its jaws and lips. It slips between rows of teeth that could end it instantly, picking away scraps and parasites from inside the danger zone itself. And remarkably, the shark holds still and allows it, keeping its jaws calm while the tiny cleaner does its careful work. A moment later, the Remora backs out of that deadly mouth completely unharmed, as if it had done nothing risky at all. The shark simply watches with its dark eye, tolerating a creature it could kill without effort, because that creature is worth more alive. Together they glide on into deeper water, hunter and passenger, bound by a deal that quietly benefits them both. But a Remora is not loyal to one shark forever. When a giant manta ray glides past, it may release and swim across to the newcomer. It presses its disc against the manta's smooth underside and settles in, trading one ride for another without missing a beat. Remoras will attach to almost any large animal in the sea. A single whale shark can carry dozens of them along its enormous body. They gather around the whale shark's huge mouth, snapping up bits of plankton and scraps as the gentle giant filters the water. Others ride the smooth shells of sea turtles, drifting lazily through sunlit water on a slower, quieter kind of host. Some even attach to whales, tiny specks clinging to the largest animals that have ever lived, carried across entire oceans. And wherever they ride, they keep cleaning, picking parasites and dead skin from their hosts in the same fair exchange. A Remora will latch onto nearly anything big enough to carry it, always searching for the best combination of safety, transport, and food. Now and then, a curious one will even clamp briefly onto a passing scuba diver's leg, harmless and slightly comical. Finding no meal and no cleaning to do there, it soon lets go and swims off in search of a more useful host. And a shared ride can offer something else. Two Remoras meeting on the same shark may pair up and find a mate as they travel. They ride along side by side, staying close together, turning a simple journey into the start of a family. Everything about their slim, streamlined bodies is built for this life of clinging on and gliding through the water at another animal's pace. There is safety in the arrangement too. Riding a great white, the Remoras are surrounded by a danger that keeps almost everything else away. Smaller predators that might happily eat a lone Remora take one look at the shark and quickly keep their distance. So the little fish rides through danger untouched, protected by the very reputation of the monster it lives on. That flat disc on its head is its passport, granting it food, a free ride, and shelter beside the sea's deadliest hunter. The partnership is so reliable that people once used it. Long ago, fishermen tied lines to Remoras and released them to catch sea turtles. The Remora would clamp onto a passing turtle, and the fishermen simply hauled both back in, using one animal's grip to capture another. Out in the open sea, though, the great white cruises on with its faithful passengers, carrying on a partnership older than any of us. As the shark slows near the surface, the Remora eases its grip, relaxing for a quiet moment in the calmer water. Sunlight ripples across them both, giant and passenger drifting together in the warm shallows near the top of the sea. And still the little fish keeps working, nibbling away the parasites that would otherwise trouble its enormous host. Every Remora begins alone though, a small and vulnerable fish searching the empty blue for its very first ride. It practices its grip on drifting debris, testing the strange disc on its head, slowly learning how to hold on. Then, at last, it latches onto a passing shark for the first time, and its real life on the move finally begins. From there, the giant carries it out into the vast open ocean, and the long journey of a hitchhiker's life continues. When the shark dives deeper, the Remora holds tight through the shifting pressure and the fading light around them. It endures the cold, darker water while its host hunts below, trusting the giant to bring it back toward the sun. And it does. The great white rises again toward the light, its loyal riders still firmly attached to its sides. The piece is not always perfect. Sometimes a Remora strays to an annoying spot, and the shark shakes its body to move it. The little fish quickly repositions to a better place, smoothing things over and keeping the valuable partnership intact. Soon the balance is restored, and the two of them glide on calmly once more, as if the small quarrel never happened. When another kill sends scraps drifting through the water, the Remora releases again to chase down an easy, effortless meal. It feeds quickly in the open before racing back to catch its moving host, unwilling to be left behind in the blue. Over a lifetime of this careful work, the shark's skin stays cleaner and healthier than it ever could on its own. Silhouetted against the bright surface, the great white and its Remoras form a partnership that has worked for millions of years. Across the open ocean, these quiet alliances play out every single day, almost always far beyond the sight of any human. As evening light spreads through the water, the Remora rests against its host, the two of them drifting slowly and peacefully together. It is a tiny survivor that has thrived by doing the unthinkable, by making its home on the most feared hunter in the sea. And the great white glides on into the golden water, carrying its loyal passengers along for one more stretch of the endless journey. In the end, the deadliest predator and the smallest hitchhiker prove that the ocean rewards cooperation just as much as raw strength. The shark's fin slips beneath the surface, and the strange, faithful partnership continues on into the deep. If you love the ocean's hidden alliances, subscribe and dive deeper with us.